Hey world, and welcome to my November wrap up. And this month I started a lot of things, but I didn't actually finish that much. So these are the two books I actually read this month. Two books. So the first book I read is actually a poetry collection by the Poetic Underground, or Erin Hanson. And if you haven't read anything by Erin Hanson yet, you definitely should. She's, as I said, the Poetic Underground on Tumblr. I'm gonna leave a link down below. Please check out her poetry. She's amazing. She has wonderful imagery she uses. She has such deep messages that she just packages in a really pretty and beautiful and aesthetic way. And I just love her poetry so much, but up until now I've only read it on Tumblr and I've never actually had a physical copy of it. So this is the Poetic Underground 3 Dreamscape. I actually have a printed out copy of Ground Control hanging above my desk because I just think it's so beautiful and true and honest, and I just love Erin Hanson's poetry so much. And the second book I read was All That She Can See by Carrie or Fletcher, which is a signed edition, which is really nice because now I have this one and also her first novel on the other side as a signed edition, which is pretty. And this is also really pretty. And the first about half of this was also really well written and pretty, and the story was nice, but then I don't know, it got really brutal all of a sudden, and I still don't understand why. The first half of it was wonderful and sweet and also quite deep and philosophical. There are so many thoughts I have, and I will make an entire book review of this, which will hopefully be up at the beginning of January. And that's also why I'm not going to go into detail about it right now. I started watching Star Trek Voyager from the beginning on because, as some of you might know, I'm actually quite the Trekkie, but I've never seen the beginning of Star Trek Voyager. I've only seen the later episodes when Seven is there because she's my favorite and I love her so much, and she isn't at the beginning, so I didn't see that. But now I've actually sat down and watched the first season, and it's so sweet and funny. I know it's really scientific and there's a lot of stuff going on, but for me Star Trek is mostly just really cute and funny, and I just really enjoy it. It's so nice to see all those first character developments, especially the Doctor is completely different in the first season than in the later ones, so it's just a lot of fun to watch that, and I'm so excited to continue watching that. Then, as I said, I saw some films, the first of which was The November Rule, which I saw on Netflix, and it wasn't that good. Especially the acting was a bit, boring. Like, the film was still very sweet. It's this film about a guy who always ditches his girlfriends before the holiday season because he doesn't want to get into all the mushy emotional present stuff. And then he meets the girl where he does that and it feels wrong for him. Surprise, surprise, she's the love of his life. It's just really predictable, and as I said, the acting wasn't that great, and I don't know, the whole story isn't that great. But still, I watched it all the way through. I enjoyed watching it. It was cute and sweet and very cheesy, and sometimes you just need a film like that. The next film I saw was Old Man Logan, and before I start on my thoughts on this, I just want to say that I haven't seen the other Wolverine films. I am not up to date with the X-Men films, or at least not completely, and I'm not a big Wolverine fan. That being said, this film was way too brutal for me. It was way too fast paced. There were a lot of open questions that I still have and found no answer to. There were some unnecessary scenes that I just didn't understand why they were in there, and I just felt like this was really just a film to say goodbye to Wolverine for good, which it did. It did in a very nice sentimental way, and even though it was completely brutal and bloody and murderous and I didn't like any of that, it was still a wonderful homage to Wolverine and everything he represents and everything he's been through. And therefore I still think for anyone who is actually a Wolverine fan that this was a really nice like ending to that story. Then I saw Murder on the Orient Express, mostly because of Johnny Depp. And I know I'm gonna get hate for this, but I just think he's a great actor. And yeah, it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. The shots were just so well done. You could actually see like nearly every shot in this film could be a postcard. It was so pretty with the lighting and yeah, like the flair of the whole thing. It was so pretty. There was suspense. I was guessing along who the murderer could be. I understood all the plot twists except for one at the ending, because I was convinced that someone else was the murderer, so that one was logical to me, but it still made sense within the plot. So yeah, it was a really good film. I loved it so much, and as I said, Johnny Depp was great, but also like it was just an amazing cast. Like nearly everyone of the cast is like super famous and also a really good actor. So it was just really nice to see all those people on one big screen in this one story. The next film I saw was Collataral Beauty. And I've heard a lot of bad reviews for this, and I don't know why, because honestly, this film hit me right in the feels. I love this film so much. The idea of it was so beautiful, and the idea of representing emotions as humans was just fantastic and so well done. It was so, yeah, just really emotional, which is something I personally love in a film. There were some things that were kind of predictable, but they still made sense and were important and had a meaning in it. They still like played a part in the whole story, and I just think the actors were amazing, especially that one guy who was a friend of Ant-Man. And this time he was completely different. He was so quiet and reserved, and he was a completely different character, and he did it so well. It was so amazing to see him in that role. And Keira Knightley, obviously, Will Smith, they were just so well done. Also, the original Hulk, Edward Norton, was also amazing, and just so many great actors in a great film, and I just really enjoyed it. It wasn't revolutionary, but it was so new that it was amazing how well they did it. It is actually a really pretty and gorgeous and sad and tragic and well acted film, and I enjoyed it so much. And the last film I saw actually just a few days ago was Thor Ragnarok. And oh my god, I'm gonna make a video about this, hopefully soon. I will also link Jack Howard's thoughts on this film and on Marvel in general. I will also link my Mavel Rant, because basically everything I said in that applies for this film. It was so heavy on jokes that most of the time weren't appropriate and kind of destroyed the moment. There were so many moments where there could have been an epic Marvel scene and they just didn't do it, and yeah, it wasn't epic, it wasn't a great superhero film. Plus, for me personally, obviously a tragedy. I was so angry, I was furious. They completely butchered Hulk's storyline. They ignored everything that happened in the comics. They actually made really rude jokes regarding this backstory that they never mentioned, and it made me so angry. I wanted to punch someone. Hulk came back and they destroyed it, they ruined it, and I'm so angry, and why do they do this? I hate this. I hate this. My poor little Hulk. That's everything I read and saw this month. As I said, not that much. It was a busy month. December's gonna be even busier, so let's see if I manage to read and watch anything at all. That's gonna be interesting. As per usual, please let me know what you read or watched this month, and also please let me know what you thought of the films I saw, because I have some opinions on them. And I love to see what your opinions are. I hope you always have a reason to smile, and I shall see you next week. Goodbye!